Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here then welcome to my channel. In today's video I am finally rating all my Insight foundations. So I have been trying Insight foundations from last month. I have all of them, almost all of them, except for their Insight concealer foundation, I think, and I am taking it a little too seriously. Well, not seriously, but I am going to be rating it on a tier list. So this video concept has been on YouTube, I think, from 2020. A lot of people from skincare space have been doing this with skincare products, but I saw Jamie Page and Julia Adams do this with makeup products. They have done many awesome, just amazing videos rating Fenty products, cream blushes, and that's where I have drawn the inspiration from. So that's exactly what we are doing today. I have my laptop handy right here. I have all the products. So of course I have only 4 foundations to talk about. And like I said, I don't have the concealer foundation. Every time I wanted to buy it, my shade was almost always out of stock, so I don't have that. But if Insight launches other foundations in the future, and if I'm able to get my hands on it in the future, I will do a part 2 of this video. So without wasting any further time, let's get started. See what I'm sharing here. So before I start, I want to take you through the tier list categories that I've made for the 4 foundations that I'm going to talk about in today's video. I have the first one, which is Go For It, which I personally feel most confident recommending that foundation. My next category is called In Rotation. Now this is basically something that I am not getting most use out of on an everyday basis, but I am still using it, and of course I'll talk through the details of the product. Then we have something called as Good But Not Great, which is self-explanatory. There are certain elements of the product which is not that great, and again we'll get to that. And lastly we have Meh, which is stay away, you don't really want to try that product whatsoever. So now that you guys know of the categories that I've created for rating my Insight foundations, now let's get started. So I'm going to start off with a foundation which is not so talked about. This is the Insight SPF 15 UVA UVB Luminous Finish Liquid Foundation. This is the packaging, or like the outer carton of the product, and then this is how the packaging looks like. Honestly, the packaging gets 10 on 10. How beautiful is this glass bottle? Not very travel friendly, I agree, but I think the packaging is still really good. This one I bought it in the shade 01 Natural Beige, and this is not talked about for a reason. This is not a foundation. This really is not a foundation. Let me quickly give you a swatch of how pinky the shade is. I don't know what this is. I don't know why they are calling this foundation. I have tried using it. It does not cover anything. I mean, yes, it looks like a foundation right now, but once you start to blend this, it blends into nothing. It moves around. It does not absorb into your skin. I've tried blending this with a sponge and with a brush. It does not blend either ways. I have not tried with my fingers yet, and also there's no point doing that with my fingers because look at the shade. Why is this so pink? It says natural beige, I agree, but then this is not even beige. This is straight up pink to me, and I don't know, maybe they could have marketed this as a cream or something with SPF properties in it, but this is not a foundation for me. I have never had a chance to even wear it for a full day because I would try it with a sponge and nothing would happen. I would see no coverage, nothing of that sort. I would wipe it off. I tried it some other day with my brush. Nothing happened either. My brush just like absorbed the product. It became very wet and clumpy, and that's when I knew that this you cannot even try with a brush. So I don't know, I had a very awful experience with this product. If you guys have tried it and you had a different experience, if in case, just let us know in the comment section below. I think that will help a lot of us out. So for that reason, you can guess that this product is going to go in the meh category, so you can basically skip this product. Now next up, I have the very famous Insight Ultra Thin Second Skin Long Wear Foundation, and I have a lot of things to talk about it, so let's get started. Now this is very hyped foundation that Insight has. I think this is their first foundation that got me excited to try their products. And so basically this is supposed to be your very sheer coverage but slightly buildable, and it's supposed to look very natural on the skin. So packaging wise, this is not my favorite, although it comes in this pipette thing. The pipette sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. It does not hold the product like how it should. You know how your pipettes work in your serums? They really like pick up the product and then you are able to dispense the product nicely. It does not happen with that. So this packaging is very impractical to me. Also, the consistency of it is not very thick, but it is slightly on the thicker side. So having a packaging like this again does not make sense to me. But packaging aside, I have quite a few things to discuss about. I think my opinion is going to be a very unpopular opinion because I have seen so many people rave about it. So the first time that I tried it, I used very little and I did not see anything. It did not cover anything. It maybe just added like a layer of color. That's pretty much it. So I thought maybe that's what it is supposed to do, but no, you basically have to use quite a bit of it to be able to see some sort of coverage with this foundation. And so exactly that's what I did. I used enough quantity of it and I started to see coverage. It blended well, the shade is nice. I was like, okay, now I understand the hype about this foundation. However, my problem with this is it does not wear so well, at least not on me. I have tried it with my Renee oil also, which I know right now is solution to all of my foundation problems. So what I noticed was without any prep, when I say prep, I mean like if I'm just going in with my regular skincare and I'm just using this without any primer, which by the way you should still be able to do. I don't think you should ever rely or buy a foundation which only performs well with the help of a primer. So I'm not rating any foundations here which only performs with the help of a good primer. That's not what I'm doing here today, but this one did not work with a primer either. So anyways, coming back, it wears nicely for like a couple of hours, and then when it starts to fade, my skin looks very splotchy. It fades in patches, and then as it's fading it will cling on to certain areas of your skin, and that's my problem with this. I've again tried it with the Renee oil, and although it sits nicely on the skin with the Renee oil, underneath fading still is the problem. It fades, like I said, very unevenly. It does not look good. Your skin looks very splotchy, I'm telling you. Like if you take a closer look at how this is fading, I don't know if it is just me, but my skin looks really bad. It clings on to certain areas of your skin. Also, initially applied also, I feel like this is very texture enhancing. My texture is quite prominent when I use this. It can sit a little bit heavy if you go heavy handed with this or if you use too much of the product. So this is not a reliable product for me. Yes, I can make it work. Let's say if I want to wear this for like a couple of hours, I can use this, but still I feel like I have way better products in the same or like affordable range which I prefer over this one, and that's why this is going to go in good but not great. So the next foundation I'm going to talk about is the Insight, oh no, oopsie, the Insight High Coverage foundation. This is what I have on my skin right now, and this one is nice, but again I have a few things to talk about. So I have two shades with me. I have the shade LN10 and the shade LNP15, and the first thing that I'm going to talk about this range in particular is the shade limitation. So right now I have the shade LN10, and as you can see it's not a perfect match. I think it's slightly lighter, and the shade LNP15 is maybe a shade darker. So I don't know, I'm never able to just wear one shade. I mean, I am wearing one shade right now, but I cannot go out like this because on camera I can still pull off a shade lighter, but in real life I cannot look like this if I'm actually going out or stepping out wearing a shade lighter. So as you might have already guessed, the problem with this one is I always have to mix the two shades to get a good match for me, and even then sometimes I feel like it still does not match the best. Now coming to the foundation itself, it says high coverage and dewy finish. I agree with the high coverage claim. This is what I have on my skin right now. I have to say it is on the medium to high coverage side or end of spectrum for sure, but this is not the most high coverage foundation you will use. The one that really comes to my mind instantly when I think about a real high coverage foundation which is able to hide anything and everything is the Maybelline foundation. I think it's called their 12-hour or 24-hour something foundation. So if you are actually looking for something that can really hide your pigmentation, acne marks, then go for it, because I remember using it even when I had like really bad active acne. I know you shouldn't do that, but I've done that in the past and it really covers. Now today I still have some breakouts. It's not that bad, but I was hoping that this would be able to cover because it says high coverage, but it did not cover it up so well. So yeah, this is not the most high coverage foundation that you will find in the market, but compared to the other foundations that we are talking about today, you will for sure find the best coverage in this one. But just note, not the most full coverage at all. Dewy finish. It's not dewy finish. Again, it is a very demi matte finish, and of course you can make it dewy by using like a luminous primer or makeup oil. So I don't think like finish can be a problem because you really can alter that. Now I have to state one thing about this foundation, and that is the consistency of this is quite thick. So if you are an absolute beginner, you have not used a foundation before, then this can be slightly difficult to blend. You need to have good blending skills, and I would suggest that if you're using this, then use a sponge. I think that is the best way to use this foundation. Otherwise it can sit slightly heavy on certain areas. Another tip, if you are planning on picking up this foundation, is to prep your skin really well. If you have any dry patches, any dry section, this can sit slightly heavy. It does not cling there per se, like it will not I don't know how to explain, but it will not cling to those areas, but it can look heavy in those areas. So the reason why I am going to move this to in my rotation is because I am not I mean, I don't have my perfect shade, so I cannot be mixing two shades of foundations on an everyday basis. Number one, because I have other foundations which can give me my perfect exact match with just one product, no mixing required. So that is one reason that I'm not able to use it as much, and that's why it's in my rotation, meaning I can use it, I am using it, but not so frequently. So it's in my rotation, if that makes sense. And the other reason being that it's quite on the full coverage side, so it's not every day that I require such a good coverage foundation. Now the last foundation of course has to be the Inside Stay Matte Liquid Foundation. It says it's oil free, matte finish, studio finish, paraben free, medium coverage. This one stole my heart. It's such a beautiful foundation. It blends beautifully. The coverage is actually medium. It can look sheer depending on how much you're using, but the way it blends into the skin, it's like anybody can use this, you know, if you're a beginner, if you are an expert. I think everybody is going to like the finish and the ease of blendability. Honestly, like look at how creamy that is, and it blends so easily and quickly. Like I am able to blend this out in minutes. Hey guys, editing Akriti here. So what you're seeing right now is a really weird phenomenon that happened when I was watching it today. And I initially thought that it's my sponge. I cut open my sponge. I've vlogged the entire scenario that happened just to find out what really happened with those black spots, and turns out it was the foundation. I don't know, really weird. I have no idea why. I don't know if the pigment in the foundation has gone wrong or what has happened. So yeah, I just wanted to pop in here and just explain that it was the foundation. I had nothing, no black pigment or shadow or anything on my hand or on my sponge. It was the foundation. So just be careful. If you have noticed this happening with your foundation, the matte one, let us know in the comment section below. But I'm super weirded out, and I don't know if I'm gonna use this, at least this bottle of foundation anymore. But I did manage to get like a clear batch of foundation just to show you the swatch, but it did happen. So weird, I know. I really don't have to work a lot with this foundation, and that's why I'm able to use this a lot more frequently than the other foundations that I'm talking about today. And another thing is, this shade is a really good match. It has that perfect yellow undertone, it matches me beautifully. By the way, I have this in the shade Nude Beige 04. It's maybe a smidge darker, but honestly, once I'm done with my concealer and full face of makeup, this is such a beautiful match. And yeah, like, this is the kind of coverage that I feel like most of us require on an everyday basis, unless of course if you're wanting to cover everything and anything that you have on your skin. And that is why I would say go for it for this one. There's nothing really that I can point out as a flaw. It wears beautifully, does not look patchy once it's wearing off. It's not texture enhancing, blends easily, coverage is nice. It is a foundation coverage, it's not so minimal, it's also not like this one. This is of course on the higher coverage side, like I said. So this really can be your everyday everyday foundation if you're looking for one. And the fact that it says matte finish is not true. This is not really a matte finish. Again, by itself, I have dry skin, and I was skeptical of using this because I hate matte foundations. It can make my skin very crusty and very just stretchy almost. This one does not do that, so I can tell you this is not a matte foundation. It's nice demi matte finish wise just by itself, but like I said, you can alter the finish on every foundation honestly at this point. So that completes this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you want me to rate other beauty products, makeup products, or anything brand wise, then also let me know. I am planning on doing Insight concealers rating, although I have only one of their concealers. If you guys want to watch that, let me know. I can buy whatever concealers they have to offer and I can do a similar video like this. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, then please give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps me and my channel out. You can subscribe to the channel. You can also click on the bell notification right next to it. That way you will be notified when I post next. You can follow me on Insta right over here, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.